Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to provide you with an example of how to calculate LIFO and FIFO inventory methodology using Excel. So the first thing that I've done here is I've indicated the purchases that I've made. So on March 1st, I purchased 325 units, and let's use pens as an example. And my vendor charged me $1 per pen, which means my total cost is $325. I've taken $325, multiplied that by $1. Then in April, I purchased another 400 units at $1.50, which makes that value $600. And in May, I purchased another 500 units valued at $1.80 each, bringing my total cost to $900. So under the purchases section, you can see that I have 1,225 units sitting in my inventory with a value of $1,825. Now we're in the month of June and my sales are beginning to occur, and I've sold 650 pens at $5 each. So the first thing that we're going to do is figure out what would our cost of goods sold be using the LIFO methodology. So coming down here, you can see here's LIFO. I've sold 650 units. So my May 1st purchase, I purchased 500 units. So I have to take all of those units at $1.80, bringing my cost of goods sold to $900. But I'm not done yet because I sold 650 units, which means I need to take some inventory from the purchases that were made in April in order to meet that 650. So I'm short 150 units. So I have to use from my 4/1 purchase, 150 units, and those were purchased at $1.50. And then I'm going to come over to the total column and I'm going to take the 150 times $1.50. And I'm just going to add this up, which shows me that here's my 650 units, you can see, and I took 500 of those units from the May 1st purchase, and I've taken 150 from the April 1st purchase. And my cost is $1,125. So my cost of goods sold is the $1,125. So now how do I figure out what is left on my balance sheet? Well, I haven't used anything from the March 1st purchase, right? So I know that that's going to be $325. And then from my April 1st purchase, I used 150, which means I have 250 units left over. And that's at $1.50 each. So I'm going to take my 250 units that are left over, and I'm going to multiply that by 150. And I'm going to get to a total, which leaves me $700 on my balance sheet. Okay, so you can see here, using LIFO, my cost of goods sold is $1,125, and the inventory that's remaining on my balance sheet is $700. I'm just going to take this and just move it up here. So now my revenue, let's look at the revenue and the cost of goods sold to see what my gross profit is using LIFO. My revenue is 650 units multiplied by $5, because that's what I'm selling my pens for. That's $3,250. My cost of goods sold using LIFO is $1,125. So I'm going to just equal, and I'm going to select the 1,125. To get to the gross profit, you take revenue minus cost of goods sold, and that will give you your gross profit. So under LIFO, my gross profit is $2,125. So using the FIFO method, now what I want to do is I want to take the inventory that I purchased first and use that up until I get to 650 units. So my first purchase was in March, and I purchased 325 units at $1 with a total value of $325. So I'm going to take all of that inventory, right? And I'm going to use up the inventory until I reach my goal of $650, 650 units, I'm sorry. And the value of the 325 units is $1. So I'm going to take the 325 and I'm going to multiply that by $1 to give me the value of $325. So that's what our value is. But as you can see, I haven't reached 650 units. So now I have to dip into the April inventory that I purchased. So I have 325 units. I need to get to 650 units, which means I need 325 units from the April 1st batch. So I'm going to take 325 from that April batch. The value of that is $1.50. And then I'm going to take my 325, multiply that by $1.50. And then I'm going to come to a value of $812.50. That's my cost of goods sold. Okay, so now what is remaining on my inventory balance? Well, I've used up all of these and they've moved over to cost of goods sold. I've used 325 of these 400 units, which means I have 75 units left at $1.50. So if I do 75 units left at $1.50, that's $112.50. And then if I look at the May inventory that I purchased, I didn't use any of it. So I have to take that total amount and keep that on my balance sheet. And when I add those together, I come up with $1,012.50. So again, we're going to look at the revenue versus the cost of goods sold using the FIFO method. So my revenue again is equals 650 units sold multiplied by $5. That's what I'm selling the pens for. So my revenue is the same under FIFO or LIFO, but here's where the change occurs. Under cost of goods sold for FIFO, we can see that my cost of goods sold is $812.50. And then to get to my gross profit, I take my revenue, minus out the cost of goods sold, and my gross profit is $2,437.50. So using FIFO, my cost of goods sold is less, which means my gross profit is more, and I would have to pay more in taxes. Whereas under LIFO, last in, first out, my cost of goods sold is more, which brings me in less revenue, and I would pay lower taxes on that amount.